release of the G20 magazine that has come across as a major snub for the Mughal history being erased brigade, who claimed that the centre was adamant on shedding the Mughal vestiges, especially in this 24-page magazine that has been titled as Bharat, the mother of democracy. Akbar, Emperor Akbar, has now been termed as a democratic leader, as the central government has hailed the Mughal Emperor Akbar as a proponent of peace and democracy, while the magazine claimed that Akbar's democratic thinking was unusual and it was way ahead of its time. The magazine, which has lauded Akbar for introducing the doctrine of Sulh-E-Kul or even Din-e-Ilahi as a practice and as a tool against religious discrimination, where he also has been claimed that Akbar's democratic thinking was unusual and way ahead of its time. So this is coming across as far as this G20 magazine is concerned, which has been published by the Modi government. It has described in brief how Akbar, who introduced several of those doctrines, and he had also propounded a new syncretic religion as well, and that has also been highlighted as far as Akbar's 9 wise men or the Navratna are concerned, who used to help the emperor when it comes to implementing pro-people schemes as well. Aishwarya, can you tell us more about this magazine?
This is a Mother of Democracy magazine which was published during the G20 summit, which clearly tells us the story of democratic Bharat from 5500 BCE to 2023, how the democracy has evolved. And in this magazine, there was one chapter which relates to Mughals. Certainly, this has landed up into a controversy. On one side, it has been always argued to the centre by the opposition parties that why Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the centre is against the history textbooks, why they have been erasing the Mughal era chapters from the history textbooks, or be it the name changing of the Mughal era to the new names. But certainly in this G20 magazine of Mother of Democracy, a chapter which has been included, which has hailed the Mughal era Emperor Akbar and had stated as a proponent of peace and democracy. Certainly in this particular page, it has been also mentioned about Akbar introducing the Din-e-Ilahi, which is a ibadat sect for different people who worship different religions, and also hailed his democratic culture as Navratna as well, what he had of different sects. So certainly now the questions are being raised that who had that why Mughal era history had been inducted in this particular magazine, while on the other side the government has always been against the Mughal era and the atrocities. Remember, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who had pitched in Madhya Pradesh recently Ravidas over the Mughals, and stated that Ravidas was the one who had born during the era of Mughals, during the time of atrocities, and he had come out as a person who had been the peace propagator. So clearly now there had been a contradiction, and therefore this has landed up into a controversy.
Aishwarya, when it comes to answering those, the critics who have been time and again saying that the Mughals have been singled out, and there have been several attempts that have been made in the past, erasing or even manipulating history is concerned, does it come across as a big answer as far as the incorporation that has now been done by the Modi Sarkar?
Well, certainly when asked to the Culture Ministry, who had put in place the entire Mother of Democracy exhibition at the Bharat Mandapam, we asked at that point of time to the Secretary as well that whether the Mughals will be included. They said that they were the part of history, and no matter what, we had to include them. And this just is a history that has been known by everybody, and there is nothing wrong to include Mughal era. Also, there is one very interesting point. British era was not included in the Mother of Democracy exhibition. When asked to them, they clearly said that that was a dictatorial and colonial era which everyone wanted to forget, and that's why British era was excluded. Perhaps the Mughal era was included because that's being a part of history. But certainly that's an answer to those critics as well.
Rahul Ishwar is with